You're watching PEGRI TV, Rhode Island's public access channel.
Salam. My name is Sheikh Abu Hakim Abdullah, President Chairman of Al Masjid Sharia Law, AMSA, a non-profit religious organization operating in the state of Rhode Island, USA. Well, let's talk about our duties to Allah. What is our duties to Allah? Was Islam designed to follow our desires? Was it designed to satisfy our greed? Was it designed to give us the freedom to do what we wanted to do anywhere we wanted to do it? No, I don't think so. I don't know. I know so. I know it wasn't. Islam was designed to give us something to hold on to save our souls. But it wasn't designed to serve us. It was designed to give us another way of life that we could save ourselves. It's not, if you read all the things that Allah was saying in the Quran, came to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Allah's sunnah, Allah's way, you must understand that. It strictly tells us to obey, to follow Him, to be humble, to be kind, to do what is right. All these things leading to what? To be righteous, to be just, to be honest, be loyal, to be obedient, to follow again the Most High among men and women. But in order to do this, in order to get these things, the first thing we must be is obedient. And that's not what we're doing. We're not being obedient. Ever since the law took from us and gave us only the spiritual existence of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he took him up to him, we've been doing our own thing in Islam. Many of us. We've been serving Islam the way we wanted to serve Islam. Not the way Islam commands us to serve, but the way we want to serve Allah. On our grounds, on or what would you say, our time. Allah tells us to do certain things, we do the opposite. And we're doing the opposite. Allah tells us to break not into sets. This is one brotherhood. We broke into 72 and breaking more and more each day. Not just yesterday, today we're breaking more and more each day today. We got another set coming, another set coming. We got, in one country we might have 4 or 5 different sets. And nobody's doing anything about that. I listened to a thing that was on the radio, on the TV, on the news. It said that Hamas is having a big problem in Palestine, in Gaza, because Gaza has got 5 different Hamases. 5 different groups, maybe more than that. And they all running free, doing what they want to do. This is what kills me. We got laws that says we're not supposed to allow these things to happen. We got laws saying what we're supposed to do when they do happen. We got not only laws, we got commands from Allah to deal with these things. And we sit back and do nothing. We say like we're supposed to be loyal to these people because they confess to be Muslims and doing it vis-a-vis Allah. How sick can we be? If a person is putting holes in this napkin, and the law says don't put no holes in this napkin, and when he does put a hole in this napkin, deal with him such and such and such and such. And we stand up there and say, well, we can't deal with him because he confessed he's Muslim. And what Allah said to do? Allah said when the brother commits a wrong like that, or a wrong period, he's no longer, at that time, he's no Muslim. When he steals, he's no Muslim. When he commits murder, he's no Muslim. When he burns somebody up, he's no Muslim. When he kills women and children, he's no Muslim. What more do you need to hear from Allah to do your job? But this is what's happening with us. We steady doing what we want to do, and we steady doing it the way we want to do it. We steady accepting the enemy of Islam as if it's our brother or friend or something that we're supposed to accept. We steady trying to be like a people that is just trying to destroy us. I never seen nothing like this in my life. We are trying to emulate the people that is following evil and other things, and we're trying to emulate them. We're trying to emulate the people that spending millions of dollars trying to destroy Islam. We're walking about looking like them, smelling like them, talking like them, acting like them, going to the same schools and everything else, trying to be like them. And these are the ones that's trying to destroy our deen. What does your deen mean to you? To me, nothing. The way it looks. I don't understand you. What more do you need? Are you completely, are you Majnun? I'm not saying all of you are doing it, but the ones that's being, all of you are not acting this way, but the ones that are being silent, doing nothing, and remaining quiet are just as guilty as the ones that's doing it. Because you're doing nothing. You're doing absolutely nothing. You got some people, we ride on this big ship, this big this big, big ship. And you got people by the thousands down there in the bottom of the ship, putting holes in it, drilling holes in it, banging holes in it, blowing up things in the bottom of it, all that, and we stand up on the top of the deck playing shuffleboard and ping pong and praying. That's another thing. We're praying to stop the law, come and stop them. We praying to Allah and ask them to come stop them. Allah gave that responsibility to his servants, his slaves, to do. The physical responsibility to Islam is supposed to be taken care of by you, me, the so-called followers of Islam. But you're not doing that. Everything you're fighting for land, you're fighting for greed, you're fighting for this, you're fighting for that, but you're not fighting for Islam. You're rioting and all that, you're throwing out people out of office and all that kind of stuff. Some of them need to go. But they need to go because of their Islam is lacking. They're not doing the Islamic thing for the people. This is what they need to go. This is what you're supposed to be fighting for. Otherwise, you're saying it'd be all right if they did this wrong to the people as long as they gave you a job. They did this wrong to the people as long as they gave you something to eat. I want you to understand yourselves. I'm trying to get you to look in the mirror, to look at yourselves, and say to yourselves the truth. Be just in yourselves. Allah says, tell the truth and be just even though it's against your own soul. This is what you're going to have to do in order to straighten this mess out. And it's up to you to straighten it out. Because it's something down here on earth. It's not nothing wrong with Islam. There is nothing wrong with our Islam. It's one of the most beautiful, it's the most beautiful put together human thing on this earth that we can follow. It's something wrong with us. We refuse to follow it, accept it, and put it on ourselves as being the thing that we must obey. We still trying to go ahead and use our free will against ourselves. We commit more shirk, more different crimes against ourselves, against Islam, than any other people that's doing it to us. Let me show you an example. 9/11 was bombed. It wasn't bombed. It was. Well, I don't know how to call it. It was flown into by a plane. All right, it was bombed with a plane. The people that in the country that blew up at, the people in the country where it burned and fell down at, the United States, was only asking for statements from the Muslim world. Only asked for statements from the Muslim world against bin Laden and his people that did it. It never came. There's many people walking around today never made a statement against bin Laden. Never came an Islamic statement against bin Laden. Oh, you had one or two people stand up and say, well, it's not, it wasn't a part of, it's not Islamic to do that. But on the whole, it never showed up. We was quiet. We went along with it. So when the people begin to say, this is it's not bin Laden, it's Islam, and our quietness said they were right. This is what we did by being quiet. So they took and they dropped it. They moved bin Laden down here and put Islam in his actions were because of Islam, because of Islamic way of life is brutal, it's savage. The Islamic way of life is savage. No, it isn't. But we let them say that. We're not saying anything against it. We're not standing up against it. We got over 1 billion Muslims in the world. 1 billion Muslims in the world. Look at that. 1 billion, over 1 billion, 1.5 billion, they say. Might be more than that. Because there's nobody counting it. There's no, in Islam, let me show you something in Islam. And it's a bad thing that's going on. We should straighten that out. I'll try myself to straighten out my part of it. A person be walking down the street and they want to be a Muslim. They will walk into a brother and say, look, I want to be a Muslim. But it's okay, come on, I'll teach you Islam. This one brother living on a block of 40 Muslims will teach him Islam. Or her Islam, or whoever it is. Then it comes time for the Shahada. They say, okay, you know enough now. You know, I've told you enough. So put your finger in the air and take it, and I can make you a Muslim. They get 3 or 4 brothers together, and they go ahead and make that and get that brother Shahada, which is an acknowledgement of accepting Islam, a physical acknowledgement of accepting Islam. Then they say, Allahu Akbar, you Muslim now. Bang! He's out there in the street. He's calling himself a Muslim. What evidence is there that that brother is a Muslim? What did he do? There isn't any. There's very few of them that got Shahada papers. There's very few of them got what you have, baptism papers, you people that's non-Muslim. What you have, the people that's non-Muslim have baptism papers. The Christians, the Jews, everybody have baptism papers. There's a lot of Muslims walking around the world today, in countries all overseas, that don't have any papers saying or classifying that they're Muslim, that they're followers of Islam. Not that there isn't these such papers. There is these papers running around. I got some. As an imam, I have these papers. And other imams have some of these papers. But I'm a leader among Muslims. Not and I have a congregation at that time. So I have these papers. People have these. People get married the same way. We marry people. We don't give them a marriage license because we're dealing like this is some kind of club. We're not dealing with this like this is a physical, organized operation. We're dealing like this is some kind of small club, and this has got to change. The papers of Muslims should be in a place somewhere overseas or in this country. I don't care what country it is. We should have a record room. Records. to keep records. How many people we got married? How many people born into Islam? Who are they? Where the baby? After the baby comes in Islam, a birth certificate, everything else, all the papers that shows that this person is Muslim. But we don't have that going on. So there's millions of Muslims running around. Every week, if it's 2 million, if it's 2 million Muslims born in Indonesia, they're born there without any papers in a lot of places. So we don't have a real count. We got more than what we say we have. And this is what I'm saying. I'm trying to be truthful with you. And this is the things we got to stop. We got to reorganize. This is why I put the program together. We must reorganize. We must reorganize ourselves. It's very important that we do this. We should have did this yesterday, 2 months ago, 3 months ago, yesterday. But nobody's listening to nobody's looking at the programs and changing. And if I try to send some of this stuff if I try to talk into into the so-called masjids, which is the Beit Masalis, places of worship, prayer mats, they're going to deny me. Because the imam is going to feel like I'm trying to step over top of them and do something. We must realize that this is one ummah. That we are the slaves and subjects of the Prophet of Allah. Not the Prophet Muhammad, of Allah. The Prophet Muhammad is not our master. He is our imam. He is our leader. He is not our master. Our master is Allah. I heard brothers make that statement. We're not worshiping the Prophet Muhammad. He's not the master of Islam. He is a servant of Islam. He's a slave of Islam. But this is the kind of thinking we're doing. We're changing everything around to match this world stuff, this worldly stuff. This is why he said there's no kings in Islam. Because you have to, a king must be, it becomes your master, your controller. And we must do something about that. This is what I'm trying to tell you. I'm trying to get you to change your attitude. I'm trying to really get you first to look at yourself and change it. And make the turns you're supposed to make back into Islam. I'm not only fighting disbelief, not fighting physically, but I'm striving against disbelief. I'm also striving against our enemies of Islam, our enemies of Allah. Whether they be Muslims, or whether they be disbelievers, or whether they be Christians, or whether they be Jews, or whether they be Buddhists, or whatever they might be. And then I'm fighting you and me. I'm doing what Allah says we're supposed to be doing. Cleaning up our own house. And do I get assistance from? No, I get no assistance from you. But it's time that you give me this, because what I'm asking for is the things that will give me more strength and give me more power to succeed in what I'm doing. I'm not asking for you to give me a Cadillac. I have a car. I hate to jump into myself, but I'll show you the needs that I have. I have a car out there, outside, that I can't, that sometimes I have to smack a black box in order to get it to start. I have to hit it like an old machine. I got a little copying machine like that eats up ink like goats eat up garbage, like pigs eat garbage. And I need that copy machine to get stuff back to you. But this is what I'm trying to say. We are in trouble. We are in big trouble. And we are doing it to ourselves. It is nobody doing it to us but us. We're not standing up against our enemies. We're not standing up against, we trying to look like our enemies. Like I said, we trying to look like our enemies. We dress like our enemies. That people stand. I look at brothers when they have these meetings. Every brother in there walking there with a suit and tie on, looking like they're a Christian, or looking like somebody in a band. Nobody wants to look Islamic. They want to look like two worlds. They want to look. They don't want to look Islamic. They want to look like they're part of a intellectual system of the world. Suit and tie, whatnot, sitting up there, suit and tie. And some of them got beards on, some of them got a mustache, some of them all full shaved, some of them got earrings in their ear. But we want to look, smell, and act like Western people. You got people that come into the Muslim country, and the women that come there, they send women to us to deal with us in business, knowing that we are not supposed to deal with women in business facilities. So that's a trick they put on you. That's a trick they put on you. That's disrespect. That's exactly what that is. Disrespect. They sent Hillary Clinton in there as Secretary of State. She got a hand out, and we're taking the hand. We're standing there taking the hand. And then we try to halfway look like we're not taking the hand. We sit there like, but we took the hand. That's disrespect. You're not demanding the respect you're supposed to give. This is your house. When people come in your house, your country, they're supposed to follow your laws. Obey your laws. At least be courteous to those laws. And they're not doing it. Why? Because you're not accepting it. Why? Because you're doing what you want to do. So they see you doing what you want to do, they hit you more with that. Here, go talk to that brother. The President of the United States saying what? Well, I'm not going to talk to anybody but a moderate. Who cares? What did he tell me? He's not going to talk to nobody but a moderate. Then don't talk to nobody but a moderate. Don't.
Okay.